Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we are looking at those butt-puckering moments in Souls games that had us squeezing our controllers to the point of breaking. This isn't just about tough bosses, these are the 10 most stressful moments in Souls games. Let's wipe our brows and do this thing. Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Fishing Hamlet and Shark Giants, Bloodborne. Welcome to the Fishing Hamlet, annoying enough on its own, but home to one of the most annoying enemy types in Bloodborne, Shark Giants. Narrow walkways, limited cover, and swarms of aggressive foes force players into annoying spots for swinging swords, leaving almost no room for error. Then, there's the Shark Giants, the hard-hitting enemies whose attacks can one-shot or stagger. Don't even bother thinking you can duck this section with aggressive healing because it's strikingly limited. Let me quote the great A Good Hunter from Reddit. What am I missing here? What can I learn, practice, and get good at to reliably kill this enemy? Nothing, Hunter. Nothing. The Lake of Rot, Elden Ring. The Lake of Rot in Elden Ring is one of the game's most stressful areas, placing players in unrelenting danger with almost no room to relax. The stress of navigating this area, reaching every corner, solving the puzzles, and fighting the bosses is turned up to 11, with Scarlet Rot infecting you almost instantly, a status effect that steadily drains health and demands constant cures or meticulous preparation. Movement is sluggish and punishing, while lurking enemies and environmental threats heighten the pressure. Every resource must be carefully managed as the inevitable rot builds. Combined with its oppressive atmosphere, unsettling music, and pervasive sense of helplessness, the Lake of Rot turns each step into a tense gamble for life, which is also the name of my autobiography. Anor Londo, Dark Souls. Have you tried to move through Anor Londo in Dark Souls? Trust me, if you had, you'd never forget it. First off, flying buttresses are infamous for breaking newcomers, and then the section of Anor Londo with the Silver Knight archers has become a true rite of passage, testing whether players can stay calm while being relentlessly shot off narrow ledges into the abyss. Many gave up here entirely. Those who persevered soon faced another wall, Ornstein and Smaug, the game's most brutal boss duo. Without solid dodging skills and careful stamina management, players were doomed to repeat the fight until they adapted. For many, this section was the ultimate test of patience and rage, and stress. Frigid Outskirts, Dark Souls 2. Onto another stress-inducing section, we have the Frigid Outskirts. All of the Dark Souls 2 DLCs are notoriously tough, but none compared to the misery of the Frigid Outskirts in the Crown of the Ivory King. This area features some of the franchise's worst enemy designs and one of From Software's most punishing boss runs. Much like the Tomb of the Giants, a blinding snowstorm limits visibility, while reindeer enemies charge out of the whiteout to knock you down and deal heavy damage, something Elden Ring players would have experienced years later at about 10% the annoyance. After minutes of wandering aimlessly, players finally reach a boss fight against two reskinned versions of Ava. The fight is easier than the trek itself, but guess what death means? Repeating the entire run. The Ritual Path, Demon Souls. I mean this with absolutely no hyperbole. I googled the Ritual Path so I could revisit it before writing about it, and in all my days at Mojo, I've never seen so many Reddit posts about how the hell do I get through this section. The The ritual path in Demon's Souls is notoriously difficult because it combines oppressive design with brutal enemy placement. Placement that requires a complete knowledge of the area, as walkthroughs will often have you cheesing kills with well-placed shots and magic before even getting there. The area is shrouded in darkness, making navigation tricky and giving enemies the advantage of surprise. Reaper enemies summon waves of lethal shadow creatures, forcing players to either rush the Reaper or risk being overwhelmed. The narrow pathways leave little room for maneuvering, and a single mistake often results in death. Add in powerful Black Phantom enemies and a deadly fall to the abyss below, and the ritual path becomes a test of patience I'm not interested in repeating. Old Yharnam Bloodborne. Old Yharnam in Bloodborne is stress on stress on stress. From the moment you enter, you're greeted by Jura's Gatling gun raining down bullets, forcing you to dash between cover while beasts swarm the streets. These stressful moments would be well and truly enough to get it onto this list, but it goes on. The level's vertical design makes you feel constantly exposed, with enemies lurking around blind corners. Most foes inflict poison, punishing hasty movement while also forcing you to fight with speed. It's just an impossible combo. Old Yharnam teaches you that rushing ahead is deadly, yet lingering too long is equally dangerous. A lot of this list is about stressful areas, but this one stays with me personally more than most. Blighttown Dark Souls. Even by modern Souls-like standards, no poison swamp compares to the nightmare of Blighttown in the original Dark Souls. It's Lake of Rot on crack. Even the path to get to this infamously shitty swampland is stressful. Inside Blighttown, players must navigate a ramshackle vertical maze of rickety platforms and awkwardly placed ladders, all while exposed to enemies at every goddamn angle. Hulking ogres hurl cleavers, toxic dart shooters drain your HP, and insects lash out with blood and fire. This area is achievable now with everyone having their methods pinned down. Ringed City Dark Souls 3. Yay, Dark Souls 3 made it on this list. Oh no, it's because of the Ringed City. The Ringed City DLC for Dark Souls 3 stands among the hardest content in the entire trilogy. Traversing its ruined streets is brutal, with ringed knights arguably the series' toughest standard foes, and don't forget the relentless angels. This city requires complete, unfiltered mastery of combat fundamentals. Designed for endgame characters, the enemies here are stronger than anywhere else in DS3. Its bosses, especially Dark Eater Midir and Slave Knight Gale, push players to their limits. Is it cheating to include the entirety of a DLC in an entry? Maybe, but I'm gonna. The Obsidian Greatsword Dark Souls. Dark Souls is infamous for its grueling challenges, but the Notorious of the Abyss DLC pits players against the legendary boss Black Dragon Calamite, whose overwhelming health pool and punishing attacks test every part of a player's skills. Beating Calamite is already a monumental task, but obtaining the Obsidian Greatsword from him is even tougher. The weapon can only be acquired by severing his tail, a near impossible feat requiring precise timing, rare openings, and immense patience. It's truly like if I said you need to defeat Mike Tyson in his prime in a boxing match, and then I said I'll also give you $1 billion if you can take one of his socks off. Gauntlet of Strength Mortal Journey, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Truly Any of the Gauntlet of Strength challenges could be considered the most stressful sections of any Souls game, but we're focusing on the Gauntlet of Strength Mortal Journey challenge because it demands perfection over an exhausting marathon of some of the hardest boss fights available. Players must defeat a gauntlet of Sekiro's toughest foes back-to-back without checkpoints or healing between battles, aside from limited healing gourds. The sheer endurance required makes even minor mistakes costly, as losing late in the gauntlet means starting all over again. Pressure builds with each victory as the fear of slipping up grows heavier. Mortal Journey pushes players' mastery, patience, and nerves to the limits, amplifying stress right throughout. It's easily an hour of your life, and it can disappear with the clink of a sword.
Sekiro.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos.